Hi, thank you. What a treat. Get to see the beach, which you don't normally get to see in my area of Melbourne. I'm going to stand here. I don't know why. I feel like this is a better place. Is that okay? And I'm next to the three boys in the room, which is very good for the boys. Lucky the boys, huh? Lucky the boys. Okay, so the title of my presentation, it's only 7 slides, and I can't see it now, unfortunately. I know, I'm sorry. And it's probably a shit photo because I'm in the glare. How reflection time can make or break your business. What I really wanted to write as my title is when you lose the pitch you were told you were going to win, then you stop and reflect, which is exactly what happened to us in February this year. We missed out on a pitch we were told was ours to win. Can you imagine that feeling? I mean, we've all lost bits of business or we've missed out on business. And that's what happened to us. So we decided that we needed to stop and reflect and work out what happened. This was after we'd sworn about that potential client and cried and all of that for quite a long time. It was a massive bit of business as well, which we didn't get. So there are 3 things I want you to learn from my 7 slides today. And the first one is stopping is vital for revitalising your business or your brand. There's lots of studies done about entrepreneurs and small business people, and I suppose the biggest thing people talk about is that we don't actually stop. In fact, we feel like we're running out of time. Who has that feeling? We always feel like we're running out of time, you know, and we've got to get to the next place. We've got to get to the next place. In fact, Mark Andreessen, who was one of the co-founders of Netscape, said that when he got to the Silicon Valley in '94, he felt like he'd missed out. And so it is a common feeling for entrepreneurs. The problem is that when we feel like we're running out of time and we keep moving, we actually don't have time to stop. I mean, it's good because it gets us going and it gets the business going, but it means that we don't get a chance to stop. So what happens when you don't get to stop? You build your business based on Band-Aids. So you start sticky taping things together. We've all done that. I worked at one of the Virgin startups and it no longer exists because it was basically built on Band-Aids. It was an energy product. London Electricity was our backer. So we had this fantastic infrastructure that we could build on, but it wasn't a Virgin brand experience. So what we did was to make it a Virgin brand experience, we attached all these sticky tapes to try and get the customers through this energy funnel. It takes 6 weeks. And it was a disaster. The first year was great, but after that it was a disaster. So, stopping is vital for revitalising your brand. You have to take an opportunity to stop and think. And the other thing is, the second thing I want you to take away is remind yourself of your brand story. Why did you start this business? What was why did you do that? There was a need. There was a reason why you started the business. I started Brand Hook as a consultant. When my firstborn was 4 months old, someone rang me up and said, could you do some work? I said, sure. He was a great sleeper. Then I had the crazy child who didn't sleep, and so then I didn't really work for about 18 months. But I started Brand Hook because I was sick and tired of going to meetings and looking at 100-page documents that people were presenting to me with absolutely no clarity and no help for me to know what to do next. They would drop like a report on my table and say to me, here you go, here are your findings. I'd go, I don't know what to do with that. I don't even know what that means. I'm not a quanti. I don't know what pie charts look like. Help me. I don't know what that means. So I said, I'm going to start Brand Hook, and our brand essence is going to be all about clarity. So you can imagine when I lost this pitch and they told us the reason why we lost was because we weren't clear. It was a very weepable moment, I can tell you. They didn't know what benefit we were providing. You've got to remember, what benefit are you providing your customers and your clients? I did an interview this morning and we were talking about the change in marketing and how marketing has really shifted from a very B2C or a B2B to what we call B2I, which is communicating and marketing to the individual. And in fact, it's the individual that are controlling the relationship that we have with them today. It's not us. We have no control over our customers or our consumers anymore. And that's obviously because of the whole digital revolution. So the only thing I would say that I would keep from my marketing arts degree from Monash 100 years ago is to remember the benefit. What is the benefit that you're delivering your customers and consumers? And clearly I wasn't giving them any clarity at all. And the other thing is part of this reminding yourself about your brand story is check in with people who know. It's excruciating to hear people talk about your business, and especially if they're not being nice about you. But you've got to do it. You've got to check in with the people who are interacting with you as stakeholders or who are buying your product. You've really got to keep an eye on what people are talking about you. And for us, if it's a business to business relationship, you've got to go and have meetings with them, take people out for coffee, and just have a chat with them every now and then. Say, just want to see how it's going. Is everything okay? If you've got something direct to the consumer, keep an eye on what's going on in the digital space because they'll talk about you. So remind yourself of your brand story is the second one. Take the time as the first one. And the last one is fill the gaps and move on. So check in with your offering. So once you've crystallised your brand essence, make sure that everything else that you're doing is delivering to that. So I said that ours was clarity. We spent 6 months working on what our brand essence is. And we knew that the brand essence was right, actually. We've actually made it harder for ourselves. Our brand essence now is absolute clarity. And what it does is it really forces us to make sure that we're being really clear with our clients. We then went through all of the customer experience. So we looked at, we've got a brand new visual identity and a brand new look. Are we being really clear in how we're communicating with our clients? We looked at our products and services. We've got some great products. We've got a thing called the habit model, which looks at how intuitive people are when they buy products and services. We've got an innovation process, which is all anchored in consumer insight. We've got a presumer panel of global thought leaders that we tap into for fresh thinking. So we knew that those things were probably okay, but we had to go back and check and refine them. There are some things we couldn't do. So we knew that we couldn't do everything. So to fill the gaps and the things that were missing, we needed to do some collaboration. So there's a company in the UK called Data Design, and we're bringing them to Melbourne. We actually sit in their office in London. We've got a London office, and they specialise in data visualisation. So we're now doing a lot more of that. We've got CEOs and marketing directors and stakeholders who don't have time to even go through the 10-page report that we give them. We don't give them 100 pages. We say, if you want 100 pages, we're not the right agency for you. We'll give you 10 pages, and that'll tell you what to do next. But we'll also give you an infographic or an animatic that you can share with your people moving forward because they don't have time to even read 10 pages. And otherwise, these documents will end up in the drawer, and we don't want that. So collaboration, just pick people. No, it doesn't always work. There are some people that aren't very nice, and you'll learn that along the way. But then you'll find your people and collaborate with them, and that's good. And I think the final thing is just to move on with it. You can't spend hours on this. You just got to get on with it. You've got to evaluate, you've got to crystallise, but then you've got to quickly move on. And instinctively, you'll know the right time. You'll have a good intuition about the right time to move on. So the brand took lessons on how to lose the pitch you were told was yours to win. Is crystallise your brand story so that when the band-aids fall off, and they will fall off, and you will have band-aids, that you can evaluate quickly and move on. So to have that always in your back of your mind. What benefit am I delivering to my consumers or my customers or my stakeholders? Make sure that that's always clear in your mind. Have a process for brand review. Make sure you do it. Don't wait till it all falls apart like we did. Actually have a process for it so that it's once a year that you actually sit down as a group at a minimum and say, where are we? What are we doing? Are we on the right track? And don't get hung up on the disappointments. I'm not sure that I'm not over it yet, but anyway. Don't get hung up on the disappointments. Learn from them and move on. You know, build on it. No, I mean, it's just a function of running your own business. You're going to get disappointed all the time. But why wasn't it me? Why didn't they pick me? But you'll just have to get on with it. And this is our promise to our clients now is that we will deliver absolute clarity along all parts of your brand journey so that you will have this incredible feeling of serenity that you know what to do next. And that was our big thing. We wanted to communicate that feeling. When you sit in a room with us and we've given you the 10 pages on what to do next, we want our clients to feel calm that they know what to do next. Hence part of our new visual identity.
Thanks very much, Pip.